Hello everybody and welcome to Wine Library TV. I am your host, Gary Vay-Ner-Chuk, and this is Wine Library TV. So it's a lazy Friday, but it's gloomy as heck, and the NFL draft's tomorrow, so I can't get my mind around anything today besides that. Big day, look for me on ESPN tomorrow. I guarantee I will make a cameo because the camera loves me, the camera finds me, and I pay the cameraman about $100 every time. It's the only way to get on TV. That being said, I'm really excited about today's episode. We're doing a little bit of a different twist. We got 3 wines today. I'm not going to do any questions, but I do promise to do questions early next week because I haven't done it in a long time. And I'm actually thinking about incorporating questions back into the show. Maybe at least one question every episode for kicks and giggles. What do you guys think about that? Let me know. I'd like to hear you from that on that. But today's show is actually 3 wines requested by 2 people. Kevin and an Alex. And Kevin Rose, who I met at FOA, and Alex Albrecht, they do a show called Diggnation. We've been hooking up a little bit. They're, hooking up like making out. Yeah, it's true. We're not scared. We're all grown boys around here. And real cool guys, and they've actually zapped me and said, we'd love to see you do an episode on these 3 wines. So I'm doing that, including, from what I can gather, and all you Vaynerchuk historians that are much better at this than I am can confirm this, but the wine that I'm doing at third is actually going to be the first wine we ever do on Wine Library TV that's being tasted for a second time. And that was a great catch by Chris Mott, actually. I didn't even realize. But this is what they requested, and that's what I'm going to do. The winner of the Vaynerchuk Ultimate Vaynerchuk contest was announced on Viral, on their awesome show today, on VO's awesome show Viral. Link time over here or down here if you're not watching today. Check that out. We have a good winner. And you know what? I want to give a little shout out to the Lost episode. These 2 cats, I'm going to call them cats instead of kids. I don't know why. Really did a great job and deserve a little big, not little, shout out. So Mott, hook me up with the link right over here. Let's give them a shout out. Please guys, it's Friday, got all weekend. Click on this, the Lost episode. They did a great job. 2 great kids. They killed it actually. Maybe even should have won. They did such a nice job. Other than that, not too much going on. And let's jump into the wines. Let's give them a whirl because that's what we do. Now what I like here is that Alex and Kevin really came at me with some good stuff here. And let's start with the first one, which is the Panther Creek 2003 Willamette Valley Pinot Noir Shea Vineyard from Oregon. 91 points, Pierre Ravani, $36 US. And we're gonna taste this wine. We're gonna taste this wine right now. And I like Pinot Noir, so this should be a lot of fun. And it comes from Willamette Valley, one of the great areas to grow Pinot Noir in the world. Not the US, in the world. So let's give this a whirl. We're gonna swirl it around. We're gonna get right in there and personal with the wine. Are you getting personal with the wine? You getting personal with the wine? You having fun? Get a little personal with your wine. You'll be shocked how that changes your experience. Let's give this a whirl. Nice nose, actually a minty fresh on the nose a little bit. Pretty stinky, and I'm liking this. A little stinky aspect going on here. I'm getting a clear-cut aroma of black currant mixed in with a wild pencil shavings aspect, and it's real obvious. Do you remember the old school pencil, sharpeners that you have to get up and, Mrs. Thompson, can I praise my pen? Yes. And you sit there and you laugh and you just sit there for an hour until the pencil was gone. Really obvious pencil shavings coming through in this nose, which bring back great memories and also come through very obvious. This has nothing to do with the teacher stuff we've been talking about. It's just there. It's pencil shavings. Getting a little bit of sour cherry as well. Reduction sauce, the kind they put on duck. I'm getting that as well. Let's give it a whirl. Friday's off to a good start. Wow. Shea Vineyard is really one of the great vineyards to make Pinot Noir in the world. Oregon is really a great place to make Pinot Noir, but this is kick-ass wine. Jeez. Great. I mean, first of all, they're called Panther Creek. You know, I mean, that's cool. I mean, thank God somebody's got a cool name in the wine industry. Chateau, you know. Anyway, Panther Creek is bringing the thunder, folks. Very rich, explosive. Getting really nice Asian spice, white pepper, black pepper. Very spicy in that manner. However, New World in its attack, because the fruit is very vibrant, but it doesn't go there. It just doesn't go too far. It's showing a little skin. It didn't get a little bit like cheesy or like obnoxious. I'm really shocked by the polish of this wine. A polished fruit bomb on the finish, but structured. Still tasting the sour cherry reduction sauce mixed with the peppers. A little hint of jalapeno pepper makes it intriguing. And a little bit of that dirtiness that I love so much. Give me a scoop of earth. Some scoopy earth. And you know, in earth you can get a lot of stuff. But I'm going to take it. I'm going to take the little pebbles. I'm going to take a little bit of the grass. I'm going to take a worm or two, an insect, a beetle. I'm not scared because the earth is so subtle. So I don't have to be scared. This wine is extremely well made, phenomenally structured, and will go with a vast variety of foods because it has great body. Even a steak, which is not the normal pairing with Pinot Noir, is something I'm thinking about. Pierre Ravani nailed this. Former critic for Robert Parker's Wine Advocate. He gave it 91 points. I'm going to give it 92 plus. This wine is rocking. And you know what? 36 bones in the Pinot Noir world today, that's really a good deal. That's like going to Vegas and staying in a hotel for 16 bones. This is a bargain. This is a steal, and this is something worth seeking out. I like it a lot, and Friday's off to a great start. Good job, Dig, guys. I didn't think you had it in you. Wow. Let's move on. Wow. Let's move on. Grant Burge, Mayshak, 2001, Shiraz, $60 US, 94 points. Wine Spectator. Let's give this a whirl. Give this a glass. Now, Kevin Rose is the guy behind Dig, which is a huge site on the internet. Real cool guy. Great podcast. They do good stuff. Good peeps. They did a little wine last week. It was pretty funny. Kevin talked about the glasses. He said Heather's parents made him get glasses. I took a look at those glasses. Those glasses are straight Bobo. Kevin, you need to reach out. Excuse me, Alex. You need to reach out and get a nice glass like this. But they had a lot of fun with it, which was really rad. Now, Mayshak, this is a big-time Shiraz, $60. It's expensive. It is far from a bargain, but 94 points is Bring the Thunder. Very high score. And this wine sometimes sells in the $90 range. This is way up there, prestige, in Australia. I mean, people hold this at a very high regard, so I'm excited about trying this wine. It's extremely dark. Get real personal to wine. We're going to get real personal this weekend. Let's give it a whirl. Interesting. This actually smells a lot like a campfire, but not because of the campfire, but because of the roasted marshmallows. It's got a very intriguing roasted marshmallow flavor. I'm getting a lot of that dairy milk quality that I talk about a lot. It has a lot to do with the oak. There's a good amount of oak coming through here. This is not an oak monster, but maybe this is an oak kangaroo, which is, you know, the kangaroo bounces around and you look in the pouch and lots of oak. It's just wild. So I'm going to call this an oak kangaroo, no doubt. Usually we talk about old world fans to leave the room. Once I've even said to leave the house. I might have even said to leave the country. Old world fans may want to leave the goddamn universe. You may need to go to Mars. This wine is so obnoxiously over the top, but rich and explosive. This makes me fun. This is what I call street fighting wine. Why? Because there's two groups. Let me hear you say, Warriors! Because if you think about that movie, old school cult classic. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Google it up. It's a killer. This is a Warriors wine because this wine has such a division in it. Straight line. This is turf. This is baseball bat, spiked chain, you know, leather jacket, war, because the Old World fans are going to tell you this wine sucks ass. And the New World wine people are going to tell you this wine rocks and brings the thunder. Now, I'm the kind of guy who appreciates both. Blondes, brunettes, nice people, bad people. I like bad people. I want to make them nice. It's one of those things. But here's what it is. This wine needs to be appreciated for its New World characteristics. There's an explosion of Skittles, and I like riding the rainbow more than anybody. There's also a massive, loaded amount of fruit punch and fruit salad. There's classic raspberry cherry flavors, but there's also a wild watermelon component that I don't see often, but once in a while in Shirazes, that's very subtle. Kirsch Real, licorice, it's very viscous. It's like oil. It's like pumping your gas full of fruit juice. I mean, this is really a wild ride. Really soft tannins, very luscious, very simple, very easy to drink, but pricey, and very one-dimension. Now, granted, that dimension, say it with me, is delicious, but there's some people that will hate this wine. So, just know what you're getting into. I'm not as excited about the Spectator. I think it is a little bit one-track minded, which is always a dangerous track. You should always be open to different things. You can't vote for people because of this, or you can't root for people because of that. You got to be open-minded, except in football. So, that being said, I'm going to score this wine 92 points. And I'm going to give it, instead of a 91, a 92, because one of the final flavors I'm getting now, you know, that's developing in my palate as I'm screaming and ranting and raving to you, is a very intriguing mushroom aspect, which I really like. The fungus is really, really hanging with me on my palate right now. So 92 points for me, 60 bones. That being said, there are some New World fans that will think this is a 95 to 97 point wine. So take it for what it is. If the dig dudes like the new stuff, the new fruit, then they'll love it, because it is an absolute explosion. It's a missile full of fruit. And finally, you know what? Before we get to that, I want to break it up. A little breakup action. Wristbands. We did them. We sent them out. We sent out over 1,800 wristbands, and we've only got about 15 pictures, or 20. That sounds like to me that there's 1,785 really bad people out there. What are you going to do? But for you awesome people, and for all you people watching, enjoy this little segment. Now that was cool. That was a lot of fun. Thank you for everybody who sent in pictures. Please, you've got my goddamn wristbands. Send me a picture. Hook me up. Please, it was a deal. We shook. Remember? Send in those. We'll have a lot of fun. We'll put them on the next time. And finally, because we are here for wine, right? The Chateau NA 2000 Azul Essencia Tokai, $70 US, 93 points, Wine Spectator, and we have done this on Wine Library TV before, but the Diggnation guys called, crying for it, little wah-wah, you need it, you got it. So, the first wine that I know that we're tasting the same vintage of for a second time on Wine Library TV. Now tell me you were not seduced by this copper golden color. Now, Chris Mott, who's hanging behind the camera today, no Eric, Chris Mott today. It's been for a while. Chris is kind of starting to push our, he's trying to push him out a little bit. Big war behind the scenes. I mean, if you wanted to know the gossip, post. I'll fill you in. Lots of gossip. Crazy behind the scenes. We're General Hospital here. Loves this wine. He was excited about it. We turned him onto it 200 shows ago. And so let's give it a whirl. Great color. God, it's sick how great these wines smell. I mean, honestly, I think Tokai is the most underrated wine in the world. If you go way, way, way back, all the kings of London and all that in England, excuse me, and all those places, they used to pay top dollar. They used to give you people, like the people in Hungary who, you know, they give you like 50 or 60 slaves for a bottle of wine. It was crazy. I mean, this stuff was sought after. The czars in Russia. Big shout out to Russia, Belarus and the Hizzy. You know, extremely sought after 400 years ago, 150 years ago. So it's really interesting to see it kind of making its climb again. If you ever have a chance, on an expense account especially, to try a Tokai, you will be blown away. This wine is bringing the thunder on the nose. I mean, honestly, it is like a viscous explosion of apricots, dried apricots, honey, Argentinian honey I'm getting, like the one we carry downstairs. Crazy apricot. I mean, it's a dead ringer for dried peaches a little bit. I mean, it is really explosive. This is legitimately worth 20 bucks just to sit and smell. Honestly, I can tell you this weekend, if I wasn't going to the draft, because I'm hardcore. Are you as big of a fan as I am? But if I was at home like you guys, not the bigger fans, and just hanging out watching a draft, I could legitimately just do this. That was a terrible pick. That kind of stuff, you know what I mean? Because it smells like gold. The bouquet on this wine, no joke, is 100 points. Seriously, let's give it a whirl. Gladly. No way. No way. Man, just polished, like, just slides down your palate. Again, apricots, peaches, dried apricots is really the dead ringer with golden honey on top of it. That's exactly what this tastes like. This is a Epicurean dream. It's an absolute explosion of sugar and fruit, dried, you know, peaches and apricots, and man, this is sick juice. I mean, it's expensive. It's expensive. $70 for 500 ml. Is not an inexpensive bottle of wine. However, I highly recommend people seeking this bottle out. This is one of the great dessert wines that I've tasted in a long time. I don't recall what I scored it last time, but let's go 96 points on this wine. This is an exceptional effort, and I've got to give the Diggnation guys a big shout out because you know what? This was awesome. This is a great way to end Friday. It's crazy. It's crazy. Question of the day. Oh, you know what? Before that, guys, come out and introduce yourself. We have the Wine Library TV Forum. Link over here. WLTV Forum, introduce yourself. Do it. It's fun. You make friends. That's what it's all about. Friends and family and health. What else can you ask for? Question of the day. I'm going to the draft. But here's my question to you. What is the best draft pick you have ever had? What's the best pick you ever made? You know what I mean. Because you... a little bit of me. We are clearly changing the wine world.